Yay, long parts again.
Let the awesomeness commence.
Now, to be fair, this part is shorter than the previous part. 1 second shorter, but shorter.
Well, that also depends on how long we go afterwards.
Okay, guys, Krang's on
So,
the
are we
top
gonna
now.
get, like,
We need to move
cool
quickly,
Dimension X
quietly,
stuff now?
be careful.
Or...
Sheesh, Leo, you're starting to sound like
No way, Raph. Master
So
Splinter
far,
once
it
always
looks
said,
like just a
always remember,
sewer
we must
line
endeavor
with
to meet
pulsating
the
neon lights.
do they have the actual Technodrome in this, or is it just a generic
No.
place?
No Technodrome.
I mean, the Technodrome looks kind of stupid, but it's also kind of a cool stupid as well. So, like, I would have liked to see it, I guess.
If you're gonna have Krang with Shredder and Dimension X, you gotta have Technodrome, in my opinion.
It's just a cool... Yeah, this is just, like, a generic office building that they had in the first season of the TV show. I think they eventually did have the Technodrome, but I've only... In the new show, but I've only watched a little bit of it. So I don't think I ever got to it if it appears.
As amusing as the Turtles' antics can be sometimes, I kind of appreciate portrayals of the Turtle that are a bit more restrained. You know, a bit more sensible.
Okay, stealth game nitpick here. But taking out security cameras, not a smart
Would alert
idea.
them of your would alert them of your presence.
It's just like, oh, Frank, we got a security camera down in Sector G. Oh, and another one in Sector F. We should send like a buttload of soldiers down there just in case.
Okay,
That's
I
what
don't-
would happen every time.
Now you see, but you say that, Ted, and they send the foot soldiers down to the area, but not to check for threats, but to fix the cameras at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if this was a thing. I think this was from the comic, but I'm not sure. It might be from something else entirely. But I seem to remember...
Boss rush!
Oh, it's already? Oh, I guess the game is trying to make you think that it's over. Okay.
Anyway, I seem to remember a sequence where the Turtles had to get into a building from rooftop access, but there was a security camera up there. So, one of the Turtles, I forget which one, like, perched himself just above the security camera, took a snapshot of the area from the angle the camera was watching, and then just
And then put it over the camera.
put the photo over the camera.
Except that also wouldn't work, because that would just block all light from the camera and it would be dark.
Not really.
Not if you use a light bright.
No, like the photo was like positioned a little bit far away from the lens.
My joke is gone. My joke ruined it.
Where did you go?
You're not going to make us sit through this entire boss rush, are you, Ryan?
The entire level.
For a second, are you serious? Holy fuck.
It's the entire level.
Okay, well then it looks like we got to break out the BrainScratch comms tangent machine, trademark, and talk about something different to talk about, because...
Spin the wheel. And it stops on...
Spider-Man taking... Peter Parker, I need photos. Photos of Ninja Turtles. Rah!
Okay, you know, whenever that boss finish snapshot moment happens, like, at least one of the turtles is always getting smacked by something, so it kind of looks like it like you lost.
My favorite is when like one of the other turtles deals the finishing blow, and you're just standing there. It's just like badass snapshot.
By the way, beat him up. You know you have to have one of these.
Oh wait, no.
Good.
Elevator
Great.
section.
Oh god.
Okay, there's being self-aware, and then there's just, you know, playing it straight.
Let's get off at the 25th floor for no reason.
That's 29th floor, Ryan. Worst commentator ever.
Hey, they're ninjas. They're not mathematicians, there.
Hey, Donnie should be able to do math. He's the smart one.
No, he just does machines.
You need to know math to do machines.
I can count up to a number of Z like no one else.
At least in binary, he should be able to do math.
Do you have infinite shurikens?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, but Ted, I can roll an H on a 6-sided die.
Oh man, H out of 6, best number ever. I love how also the other turtles can walk into the range of the security cameras and you're just fine.
Well, they're not sure whether or not you're a turtle or a turtle-shaped mosquito.
Or a tortoise.
A very big turtle.
'cause, you know-
Yeah, the middle-aged
Samurai-
accountant samurai tortoises are clearly on the foot side.
It's just hundreds of teeth.
Oh God. Okay, so do you have Lewis? Do you have any more sewer shark facts that we can pull out of our ass?
It was street sharks,
Oh
actually.
shit! I called them
First off,
that.
get it right.
I called them sewer sharks the last time we saw this guy too. So. Oh man.
The street sharks were called street sharks because they swam through the street. It was very edgy.
Bad for the road.
Radical. Oh man, like digging through
Swim through the
concrete.
streets.
That's gonna give the public works department so much work. Like,
Yeah, seriously, like, God forbid they hit a gas line.
well, I mean, you know,
Or an electric line.
the street sharks, they're good for the economy. You know, they're providing blue collar work to dozens of employees of the city. You know, those jobs give pensions. They're
But at the same time, all those construction workers are setting up all these perimeter checks, blocking off roads, so the common man can't get to their workplace, their office, which decreases productivity, which causes the apocalypse. Thanks, street sharks, and fuck you.
okay. You see, John. Obviously, you're just not appreciating how these street sharks are improving day-to-day life. Like, radicalness in the
for
city
sharks.
has gone up 500% ever since the street sharks made way. Okay.
For sharks. Sharks!
Jaws 17.
Do you know what they need to do for Shark Week on Discovery Channel? Street Sharks Marathon.
You know, Discovery Channel has had like 3 or 4 Shark Weeks every year from now, and they're overdoing it because nobody watches the Discovery Channel at any other point. So, also, I loved how the 3D object clearly went through the border of Parker, you took photos of street sharks, but I didn't say to take 3D photos. Get back out there, brah.
They're tilt shifted.
They're like
the
those-
holographic.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
little ones that yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
you
they
know
shift when you tilt
it's kind of weird though because whenever like people got like holographic Pokemon cards, they're not really holographic; they're just shiny.
Yeah, I always call them foils.
I always called them holographic when I was a kid. Are we really fighting every boss that we fought up to
It's
this
a
point?
boss rush.
Boss rush.
I mean,
I
the only
have-
saving grace is that their health, they still rock
They don't
7
have-
bars, but it's
But
not
they don't
as
have anywhere
much.
near as much health, yeah.
Yeah.
You could have fast forwarded through it, and this part would have been 15 minutes
Yeah,
shorter.
but this right here is unique.
It's the game.
It's this level design.
Oh no, you
between
could
each
show
fight.
show this part fine, but speed up the goddamn
Yeah.
boss fights.
The same repetitive hallway where you throw shurikens at security cameras.
Hey, it's a different repetitive
proximity
hallway,
mines.
okay? Somebody put a whole 3 minutes of work into this place, and you should respect
Oh.
them.
I'm getting
them all.
aquatic base flashbacks.
Random interdimensional portal. Holy shit, this game has secrets!
But is it
In
a
the
secret
form
worth
of?
finding?
It
Red
looks like
crystal.
extra
That's the stuff.
stuff, I guess? Like,
Yeah.
that's the stuff that upgrades you, right?
Yeah, the red gems that you break tend to give you better stuff because they're rare. It's like you got an actual reward.
Unfortunately, I think charm rewards are random.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So if you're looking for a particular one, you're grinding.
Ugh.
Ugh.
So if you pick up something and you run out of space, does it automatically use, or is it just wasted?
It's just wasted.
Oh, that sucks.
Wow, it's almost as if this entire facility was built purely for the purpose of having a series of boss arenas.
You know, if you're gonna bring back bosses, at least have Bebop and Rocksteady fight you at the same time. Because it's not just Bebop and it's not just Rocksteady, it's Bebop and Rocksteady. They're known for being a duo. So, that's a huge missed opportunity, in my book.
Actually, you can run into Rocksteady in the first boss fight when you fight Bebop.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I forget how to trigger it, but you can get Rocksteady to appear.
Sure took you time.
Okay then.
First time hearing that.
Well, I mean, at that point, they should just make it how it's supposed to be, because that might actually be interesting to fight. But, you know...
It was really weird, actually, because Turtles at the time, you fought Bebop and Rocksteady at the same time, but Hyperstone Heist, you only fought Rocksteady.
Well, that's because Bebop wanted a larger payment, and his contract didn't apply for that.
It was
So,
more like, I think the Rocksteady fight was based off of an earlier arcade Turtle game, and they just wanted to reuse the assets and things.
you see, your explanation was probably more factual, but mine was trying to be a bit. And obviously, with a level like this, where we're not even a third of the way done yet, we need as many bits as we can get. Because, I mean, like, 8 bits, 16 bits, hell, even 32 bits, you know. we
What
could
about
use a lot-
64 bits?
Well, seeing as this playthrough, this video is less than 64 minutes long, we probably don't need that many, but it's good to have extras, just in case. What the okay.
The Turtles have Chaos Blast.
Okay. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Heroes in a half shell.
Ugh.
Heaven can't save you. Hell is a joke. Oh wait, sorry. Hold on. Let me fix that. Heaven can't save us. Shell is a joke. Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, I needed to remember my 4Kids Turtles jokes.
Yeah, that's right. Nothing to the national anthem.
Not one character in that goddamn thing is made by an American.
No, the Turtles are, but
I like how the snapshot caught. Wait, which turtle has the nunchucks again?
Michelangelo.
The
Venus.
snapshot caught Michelangelo, just completely. He was getting knocked back, and he had this wide-eyed look of shock on his face in the snapshot.
The photographic finish reminds me of Bayonetta, because that same thing will happen there every time you finish the...
Well, yeah,
course.
but the thing is, the photographic finish in Bayonetta always took a snapshot of Bayonetta landing the killing blow from 3 different angles. There was never a partner character who was getting hit at the same time the boss
Sure, I'm
died.
pretty sure if Enzo was a co-op buddy, he'd probably be getting hit by some sort of semi-vehicle.
If Enzo was playable in a Bayonetta game, he'd be the Dan Hibiki of the game. Only more useless.
Yeah, well, Dan Hibiki is actually a good character if you know what to do with him.
He just takes way more work than any other character does. Like, that's still my secret wish for a Street Fighter game, is to have Dan somehow be like a top tier character. Like, I want that to happen really, really badly. Because
Off the top of my head, I think he was high up there in Street Fighter 4.
are you sure? Like vanilla Street Fighter 4?
It's just Street Fighter 4 in particular, like generalized.
Because I'm pretty sure he's at the bottom. Because I'm pretty sure, like, hold on.
He's meant to be bottom tier because that's how he's designed. But
Yeah,
in terms of
that's the joke.
technique,
Well, the tier lists are based on what a character can do if in the right hands. So,
I'm looking at event hubs, which I don't know how accurate they are, and fighting game fans might be like yelling at me, but he's ranked bottom on event hubs. So, Like, I mean, I know that a lot of tiers is like up for interpretation, mind you, but it's just I kind of want, like, I want him to like them to design him to look weak, but if you do like some weird wave dashy thing, then he ends up being the best.
You mean like Phoenix?
Sure, yeah. I want him to... Well, yeah, kind of like Phoenix, right, I suppose. Yeah, it's just whenever you're talking about Marvel vs. Capcom, you have to say Phoenix, right? Because Phoenix is an entirely different character. Although I wish they just called her Jean Grey, because that's what I know her as, personally, but whatever.
yeah, well, comic stuff.
I thought that he was supposed to be, like, a not evil guy. Why are we fighting him again?
Because he's here.
This makes no sense.
No, it makes sense. We need to pad out the game, so we're gonna have a boss rush. But it's. I'm trying to think of a game that did the boss rush in an interesting way. Like, besides, like, it's not just fighting the bosses over again. And
I can think of one off the top of my head, Devil May Cry 3, because the boss rush itself was a puzzle. There was this board in the middle of an area, and the area was surrounded by portals of different colors, and you had to go through the portals and defeat bosses to light up nodes on the board. And if you could get 3 of them in a circle, 3 or more in a circle, you could open the way to the final boss area. If you knew what you were doing, you only had to fight 3 of the bosses, a specific 3 bosses. So it wasn't the most amazing thing, but it worked out pretty well.
I would say Gunstar Heroes.
oh, I didn't like that game though.
Gunstar Heroes handles the boss rush. I mean, it's not too different, but I like how they approached it, like, thematically.
Was that the
Basically,
game show level, like where you had to roll the die?
No. That was like the 4th stage.
Okay, because I played a decent amount of Gunstar Heroes on the 3DS, and I actually didn't like it very much.
You said where you have to roll the die, and I just remember that's what Devil May Cry 4 did for its boss rush.
Yeah, fuck DMC4.
Fuck that boss rush. That boss rush was terrible.
But in Gunstar Heroes, at the end of the game, when you get to the boss rush, all of the bad guys are looking at you through a TV monitor, and they're like watching your every move while you're doing the boss rush. So you kill one boss, and then the other one leaves its post and goes right to where you're at. And it wasn't like entirely one-to-one a boss rush. I think there were different strategies thrown into the mix so that it was at least, you know, different in terms of a challenge. But it was also it was interesting the way they approached it. But it's still a boss rush.
In terms of visually, Shovel Knight does something similar, where like everybody's just eating dinner while you're fighting all the bosses.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was hilarious.
I love that. Like if Plague Knight's waiting, he like pulls out a little swirly straw and drinks something out of his potion. That's great.
Part of the whole thing, the bending straw.
Yeah, the bending straw. And I mean, it was annoying. You know, the boss rush in Shovel Knight isn't that bad in normal mode because the bosses are fun. Fuck it in what's this called in New Game Plus though, where I think you get a turkey like what was it once every 2 fights I think it was.
I thought you only get the turkey like in like the first fight and that's it.
Yeah, well the thing about New Game Plus mode is that normally there's no health pickups at all, but you can still fish for them. So if you're having trouble in New Game Plus, remember to go fishing. Yeah. So but in the normal mode you got a turkey after every boss. So, you know, it's just a matter of can you beat the boss on 1 health bar, which is fine. But in New Game Plus, I'm pretty sure it was once every 2 bosses. So, like, if you were stuck with, like, Plague Knight and then... Plague Knight was the most asshole-ish boss for me.
Yeah, Plague Knight was always the worst.
Plague Knight and Polar Knight always gave me shit, but mostly his instant death spikes.
I'm not using Phase Locket.
I don't like abusing that thing too much. Because it'll...
to me, it's a concrete strategy.
Well, in terms of that boss fights, because when you use it, you get locked in place. So it's disorienting for me, and it kind of interrupts my flow.
Wait, the Phase Locket?
Yeah, like when you go whoosh with the Phase Locket, you get locked in place for a split moment. It's
activating it. Okay.
Yeah, you actually need to take advantage of that in some of the challenge mode missions. Where like you need to use the Phase Locket to halt yourself in midair in order for like platforms to appear in the right spots and things like that.
Phase Locket I thought was only useful against Frostbite.
No, the Phase Locket's easily the best weapon in the entire game.
For boss fights though?
Not in terms of boss fights. In terms of just the general game though, it's easily the best. I like the Chaos Orb for boss fights though, because it just kind of bounces around all over the place and you can get a decent.
It's best for King's Knight, I think.
Oh yeah, King Knight's already piss easy, so...
Yeah. But Chaos Orb just absolutely murders him, though.
I also like to have the Chaos Orb for Street Pass fights, as well. If any of you guys ever bothered with that function in the 3DS version.
I got shuffled out of the 3DS, and I played and beaten it once, but that's all I did with it.
Yeah.
If I'm playing it, it's on the Wii or the PS4.
Yeah, pretty much. Spectre Knight and King Knight come out soon, yeah. And the sooner those come out, the sooner I can finally record the game, because I want to record all aspects of the game. Oh, at the very least, they skip straight to the second half of the Wingnut fight.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But we're still fighting Wingnut.
Yeah.
And we're still in the boss rush.
Can we go back to talking about Shovel Knight?
Well, sure. I mean, we have Spectre and King Knight, and what else is there to?
I think
get
those
from
are
them?
the last two big updates. There's the battle mode, which they're gonna do, but that's kind of throwaway. There's the gender swapped graphics, and I think that's it. They said that every update's gonna come with more challenge mode things as well. So I think after they finish these two updates, which they said they were working on simultaneously, they're gonna start working on a different game, like a brand new game. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Those that have not yet played Shovel Knight have something to really look forward to when the game is like fully completed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And by that, and I don't mean to make it sound like what the initial game wasn't completed. No, it's still a perfectly fine playable game. But it's like all this new content added for free.
Yeah.
It's great.
Like, I think their estimate was $1 million was spent on Plague of Shadows, which is a free update. So they didn't make a direct cent off of that update, which is just amazing to me.
So they probably made something off ad revenue and some shit.
No, they made money because there is a boost to sales. But, like, they didn't directly make any money from Plague of Shadows itself. Is more how it is. You know what other show abused the pizza thing? Teen Titans. It was always like, fight for truth, justice, and the last slice of pizza. And I'm like, okay.
Except they only ate pizza like once or twice the entire show.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
because after the first season, like, an actual interesting story kicked in, and dumb gags weren't really the focus afterwards.
When Teen Titans did a dumb gag, it was usually something along the lines of Starfire just not getting it,
Well,
or
that's-
Raven being an emo recluse.
Well, like, Teen Titans had good, funny episodes. Like, particularly the one with the British guy who was trying to, like, turn everybody
Mad Bod.
British. That was hilarious, I think. So Teen Titans could do humor just fine. It's just the most interesting parts of that show to me were the storylines, I think. Like, particularly, like, Slade and Starfire's planet and stuff with Raven. Beast Boy and Cyclops I've never thought got great storylines. Cyclops. You never really got any. Oh, Cyclops? Oh,
Cyborg.
Cyborg. Oh, man, I'm sorry.
No.
Well,
he meant Cyclops.
Cyclops never got any good storylines either, though, let's be fair. But Cyborg never really got any good stories. In Beast Boy, I know that he's supposed to be the comic relief character, but he never really got anything cool either.
Man,
He did when the Doom Patrol was around.
I don't
Speaking-
remember that one very much, though.
Speaking of Cyborg, like, are we going to be getting a movie for him before they do the Justice League?
No. The first solo movie since Man of Steel is going to be Wonder Woman.
I'm gonna tell you right now, a Cyborg movie wouldn't sell individually. I don't think it
Not right now, anyway.
No,
I don't
not
think-
Right now.
I don't-
They'll do it maybe afterwards, and even then, I don't see the pull for that movie being anywhere near Batman, Wonder Woman, or Superman caliber.
You know something? Marvel probably would have said the same thing about Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America.
Yeah, but I feel
Well,
like...
They used those characters because they had no choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Thor,
then,
those
you
guys
know
also
what?
have their own material, though. Cyclops has never really... Oh, God. I'm sorry. Cyborg has never really been a solo character. So he doesn't have his own universe to work off of.
They'll make a Teen Titans movie,
Oh, yeah, they'd
Yeah,
make a Teen
but they
Titans
won't.
movie, but...
They won't make a solo Cyborg film.
No.
My point is, you know, basing on the idea of whether or not a movie would sell. But you can't predict these things until you've actually made something out of it.
Well,
is
they've
what I
got
wanna
focus
say.
Yeah,
groups
but
for that.
are executives and investors willing to take that risk?
Now,
It all depends on whether or not the character is well received in Justice League, if Justice League is well received to begin with.
Marvel has basically made a whole cinematic universe off of taking characters that probably wouldn't sell as movies or shows and making movies or shows out of them and having them sell anyway.
Yeah, but then again, you also you also have to realize that that went very slowly back then. Like Marvel releases like 2-3 movies a year nowadays, but back then, like it was much slower. Like I know that Hulk and Iron Man released around the same time, but like it was like one movie a year until Avengers after that point. So it was done very slowly. Whereas here, they've already got a number of different productions in the DC universe being worked on. There's no reason for them to take a risk on something like Cyborg when they already have a Wonder Woman movie in the works. They could do Batman. They could do like Flash. A Flash movie would sell because the character's
there
very
wasn't
popular
really
right now.
any
with the TV
reason
show.
for anyone to take a risk on any totally original idea either. But
It's just the world we live in right now, where these movies take a lot of money to make. So they want them. It needs to be a character that investors feel like will put seats into theaters.
Put seats.
Yeah.
Put seats.
Well, they're already. The seats are
Oh
already
my
in
god!
the
I
theaters.
am. This game is not doing very well for my already poor speaking abilities. But
But-
you know what I'm talking about.
what the hell was...
Mikey just looked like he you want to know what Mikey looked like? He just looked like Julianne proposed to Billy, but Billy's twin brother Jim is in the hospital and he's going to get better. He's not actually dead, so it's just like he's got to tune in tomorrow.
It is a detail I like, because at the end of that fight, Mikey was out of action. And what happens when you're out of action? You're back at your home and you're eating pizza to get back up. So if you happen to have a photographic finish when one of the turtles are out, it will show them eating
Pizza.
pizza in their house.
Yeah, he's just like, oh man, I got to tune in next week to find out what
Man,
happens.
fuck this boss rush shit. I'm just gonna go home and eat pizza.
How many more do we have left? Oh Jesus Christ, we got 10 minutes. Okay, but
Like, I understand why Hollywood in general is like that, but at the same time, I also don't see as much reason for it to be that way as they seem to see. Like, it's kind of like...
Well, when
it's
you're
kinda
gambling you're essentially gambling with millions of dollars. If you're gonna want to be as safe with that money as you possibly can be. And another part of it...
Well, it's also a matter of, say, the budget for Avengers was $200 million. That makes $1 billion. Where's that $800 million going to?
More movies, essentially.
Well,
And
yes,
also,
but at
and
the same
also
time,
the
if you
executive's new
only want to make
Mercedes.
hits, where do you draw the line and try to use that money for something else?
Well, a lot of the time that that extra money goes to creators' passion projects because, like, you want to keep Robert Downey Jr. happy, so he'll keep on being Iron Man. You let him do something else that he wants to do, just to let him do another, just to let him do the movies you actually make money with him in. Like that's very common. Like Michael Bay, like he has a couple of different movies that haven't sold great, and that's why he does Transformers movies so that he can do the movies he actually wants to make. But like we kind of see that where even with, let's say, the original Iron Man and Thor and Captain America, those characters weren't super popular when those movies came out, granted. But to an investor meeting, you can still say these characters have been around for decades. They're wide known, and I mean, granted, they're not super popular, but I'm sure even before his movies, most people would be able to look at a picture of Captain America and be, that's Captain America.
Well, yeah, but Captain America had a movie before.
Hell,
The thing
Captain
about
America-
that was that it was an awful movie.
Yeah.
It was a terrible movie. It was infamously bad.
But and another thing is that it also depends on how you sell the promo for that movie, like the concept, the screenplay.
Yeah, it's just like written by we're gonna get Robert Downey Jr. in the role. Would probably did a lot to get people to
Go see Iron Man.
see people to see Iron Man. Exactly.
Not necessarily, not in 2008, because
Oh yeah, that was his
Robert
big
Downey
that was his big comeback.
It was
you're right.
Iron Man that revitalized Robert Downey Jr.'s career.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
before that, you couldn't use him as a selling point.
Hey, Kiss
So
Kiss
green
Bang
light.
Bang, I hear a lot of great things about. Okay, like that was his first movie back once he got off of drugs, and apparently that's fantastic. So
For an action movie, though,
it's
like
not
a
an
Marvel
action.
movie?
It's not an action movie. It's like it's a com. It's a
No.
com-
But I mean, like to sell Robert Downey Jr. as an action movie.
Oh,
you
yeah.
couldn't use that movie to sell Iron Man.
Yeah, I know. Granted, but like I don't know if you could really sell Robert Downey Jr. as an action hero around then period. But He was a big name, I guess.
I don't know. I don't think that DC is willing to take the same gambles that Marvel did in the late 2000s as they did with Iron Man and other movies.
I think it's part of that has to do with the fact that just frankly the DC universe has not had a single resounding success yet, so they can't afford to gamble on anything at the moment.
Well, no, there was the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy.
Well, no, in their current DC universe.
Oh, the
Well,
current DC universe.
I wouldn't say the whole trilogy was a resounding success, but the first two movies definitely were.
Well, yeah,
not even-
critically,
not
yes,
even
but financially,
Batman
Dark Knight
Begins.
Rises did make its money back.
I wouldn't say even Batman Begins was a resounding success because that was.
Oh, it had to been, otherwise we wouldn't have gotten a Dark Knight.
Oh,
No, well,
making
no,
its
we get
money back
sequels
is
to
one
movies
thing,
that aren't
but that's
a
making
success
its
all the
money
time.
back is one thing, but that's not necessarily what defines an actual success. They would.
Tell that to Michael Bay and all 4 fucking Transformers movies.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
no,
but,
people like those movies.
Made
not
their money
smart
back.
People.
Those made their money back and then some. You know.
Yeah, not to mention like Avengers. That the reason why that's a success is not just because it made a fuck ton of money. It made a fuck ton of money, and pretty much everyone agreed that it was a good movie. Like that's the winning combo, which we have not really gotten with a single DC Universe movie yet. Because Man of Steel had mixed reaction. Batman vs Superman had just a straight
Mixed
up
reaction. Yeah.
No, mixed. I would say straight up bad reaction. And
More negative than Man of Steel.
no, I would say the only people I see defending that movie are clearly I can't think of one serious person. who has
The only
defended
people
movie.
that I've spoken to who've defended Batman v Superman seem to tie it in some way with their own opinion that the Avengers Civil War was bad. Which I don't know, seems a bit. I don't really see the correlation.
Yeah.
Can the two not be good at the same time?
It would have been, honestly, I think it would have been better if both movies were good at the same time, because competition leads both series to be better. So,
Well,
you know,
yeah, because I like Marvel and DC, and I'd like them both to have good movies.
Yeah.
But
No, you're not allowed to think that way. Stop thinking that way.
It's, and like Suicide Squad might be out by the time this goes up, but it's
Oh,
not,
it will. It
Oh
will.
yeah, it will.
But it's not up now, so we don't know how that turns out, but like I can see that honestly having the best reaction out of any superhero movie, but it also has probably the least amount, not superhero movie, I'm sorry, DC Universe movie. I'm expecting it to have the best reception, but I'm also expecting it to not have nearly as much of a draw because Batman vs. Superman at the very least had a huge opening weekend because the title's Batman and Superman. So, yeah.
Suicide Squad is, ironically, considering what we were just talking about, DC's biggest risk so far.
Yeah,
So
pretty
if
much.
it's actually the most successful of the three, I'm going to laugh.
I do honestly expect Suicide Squad to have better reception than Batman vs Superman. Not that that's hard.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not like it's terribly difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, hi, Krang.
Oh well, this is like actual. He looks like a boring boss fight. Oh,
He is a boring boss fight.
I punched. He doesn't do anything interesting so far. Oh, I shoot things. Other bosses have done that. Like
It's like a hodgepodge, honestly.
if you're
Oh, Todd Cannon.
if you're gonna have this super boss at the end of the boss rush level, it needs to be spectacular, I think.
His
So
tiny legs. Oh, that's spectacular.
they're very shapely. Like, oh,
Actually-
he's Boom Knuckles. That's what he is.
The architecture, I mean, like the design, physicality speaking, it kind of reminds me of those gorilla robots from Vengeance. With the long forearms, the tiny ass legs. I squint my eyes, and it's almost 1-to-1.
Or
Oh man.
I can only see Buffles, personally.
Well, Buffalo's the enchiladas zone.
Now get me my fucking enchiladas. I've actually just started watching Rick and Morty, and it's pretty damn good. Milk toast,
It's so-
piece of human garbage.
It's so good, even the Flash watches it.
One of my favorite gags, though, is they actually, in the season whatever finale of The Simpsons, Rick and Morty crash through a portal and kill the Simpsons. So Rick has Morty send some Simpsons goop to some sketchy alien dude to revive the Simpsons, while Rick just kind of raids their house, drinking Duff beer and stealing Marge's necklaces. It's pretty great. Also, they kill Flanders, so... Okay, so the game's over now, right?
No.
But we defeated General Krang.
Did we fight Shredder yet?
I'm sure he's watching the sidelines eating pizza.
No, he's gonna stand there ominously to foreshadow the sequel.
He should be next to Splinter right there in that static image. Just chilling out with him, drinking a beer.
Playing checkers.
Yeah, just,
Why
yeah,
can't-
plain checkers.
Why can't
they
we
struck
settle
me
our
as Go
differences?
What he
as-
should be is dead in a dumpster. But
I mean, yeah, Casey Jones kind of basically just straight up murders him in the movie.
Yeah.
Aw, he just wanted a hug.
You know, if we were in the Alien universe, Leo's dead.
Oh, he's doing the Diva self-destruct move.
Now what, dudes?
I think I just murdered a man.
Maybe.
Whoops.
I do like how comic book like the textures look in this game, the shading rather.
The
Honestly,
game looks fine.
it reminds me of a Telltale game visually, actually. Like, give it a darker color palette, and it could very easily be Walking Dead.
He just ripped the head off. Krang will remember
Speaking
that.
of, Batman's got a Telltale game now.
Is that
Jesus
any good?
Christ. I don't know. I haven't.
I don't
played
think
it
it's
yet.
is it out yet?
I think.
What about Cyclops?
If it's not out yet, it's coming out soon.
Stop this. We're gonna have to get to higher elevation. It doesn't look like the portal's fully open yet. If we can
I just don't know how I feel about it.
be able to close
Shredder.
Maybe if it-
Oh, not Shredder. Splinter looks so sad. Like his goldfish just passed away. My sons.
Like
I forgot to feed Sparkles yesterday.
Like, I don't know how I feel about a Batman Telltale game, though. Maybe if it plays up his detective side more,
interdimensional invasion and
because
everyone loses their sense of
a
humor.
Telltale game seems good for that.
Well, it better not play up combat, because if there's one thing that Telltale definitely can't do, it's action. Like, Jesus Christ, every action scene in The Walking Dead is awful.
I think it plays up, because I don't think I've seen the trailer for it yet. You play up the detective side of Batman, and you make the villain more down to earth. So I would immediately think Mafia. Well, isn't it basically an adaptation of The Long Halloween?
I don't
Because
know.
I'm pretty sure like the major threat is Falcone and Sal Maroni. So if you play up the mob as the villain, I think that could work as a down to earth Batman game for